Hi, everybody. This is Silvio Canto in Dallas, Texas on Monday, May the 7th, and welcome to our video commentary. Today, I want to talk a little bit about the Russia collusion investigation being headed by Mr. Mueller, the so-called Mueller investigation. And first of all, let me begin by saying that I supported the investigation when it started for one simple reason, and that is I wanted to find out what the Russians were up to. Not so much because I felt that the Russians had changed a single vote in the United States or that they were in collusion with the Trump campaign or whatever. I mean, there are always contacts between campaigns and foreign countries. I mean, this happens a lot more than you realize. But I never took it seriously that our vote was directly impacted by the actions of the Russians. I think some of the people who believe a lot of these things are kidding themselves a little bit. So I wasn't looking for a smoking gun that would show that one candidate won the election or votes went one way or the other because of the Russians. But I was interested in two things about the Russians. Number one, what kind of techniques they were using, how they were using the internet, how they were using websites and so on. I thought that was important to know to prevent a future action. But I was also interested not just because of the United States, but because a lot of other countries are going to be having elections. For example, Mexico has an election in July. Colombia has an election in May. Other countries around the world have elections. And I wanted to at least be able to understand how the Russians did these things so that we could share them with other countries who may be targeted in a more direct way because they don't have some of the resources that we have in the United States to protect ourselves from this technology. So that was the reason that I supported this. Nothing more, nothing less than that. I never thought that there would be any findings of law breaking or anything like that against President Trump, or for that matter, anybody in his campaign. Unfortunately, this investigation has gone from that into a lot of other areas. And on last Friday, we had a situation where a judge in Virginia in the trial of Mr. Manafort basically said, and I'm paraphrasing, he basically told the prosecution that you're not really interested in what Manafort did, which, by the way, he did in 2002, 14 years before the election. And I'm paraphrasing the judge, but he basically said, look, you're not interested in what Manafort is doing. You're basically interested in trying to get to Trump. You want to come up with information that you can use to impeach or to hurt President Trump. And I think another judge over the weekend also denied the Mueller probe, an opportunity to extend the trial or to postpone some of the trial. And I think what's happening is that this investigation that started out as a Russia collusion investigation exclusively, somewhere along the line, I don't know if it's Mr. Mueller, I don't know if it's the Department of Justice, but something went wrong, and this investigation got into a lot of other areas. And I think we're at a point right now where the investigation may be losing credibility with the American people. I mean, I have serious doubts about the investigation at this point. I think Mr. Mueller or the Assistant Attorney General, Rosenstein, need to make a statement of some type. They need to say, look, this is what we're doing, and this is the objective, and here's the document that explains our objectives. And they need to come clean with the American people and explain why we're spending all this money and we're spending all this time to look for Russia collusion when there is apparently no evidence of it. I think we would know by now. So something has to give with this investigation because I think it's on very thin ice right now. And once the American people begin to question the intent of the investigation, and I think you'll see other judges do the same thing. Keep an eye, for example, on the Michael Flynn investigation. There was a fascinating article that came in the Wall Street Journal today. I think you may be able to pick it online, where they're wondering what the heck was Michael Flynn charged with, because even some of the FBI agents didn't think that he had lied. So there's a lot of things going on here, and I think it's up to Mr. Mueller to put this thing back on track, meaning to investigate Russia collusion or to end this investigation, because they're playing right into the hands of President Trump when he talks about a witch hunt. So, Mr. Mueller, Mr. Rosentine, it's up to you right now to shut this thing down or tell us exactly what you are looking for, because this crazy type of witch hunt where you're basically going after everybody or anybody who had a cup of coffee with President Trump, that's not doing you any favor in gaining public opinion. Thank you very much for watching. We have all of these on YouTube, we have them on Twitter, and we also have them on my blog. Bye-bye, everybody.